I was 27 years old, making great money, and honestly, I still felt trapped. I graduated at 25 and bought my dream car, the Subaru Outback here. I thought I made it, but honestly, I just got myself a nicer cage. And looking back, I remember this moment right when I just graduated, age 25, driving from Pueblo, Colorado, which is 2 hours south of Denver, to Salida, Colorado. And it was autumn. Leaves were falling. I was driving through the beautiful mountains. There's a river right next to me. And it was September. My family was actually hosting events and they're starting to do planning for the holidays like Christmas, Thanksgiving, Halloween. And I was really excited, as I always am every single year. But the past 8 years, honestly, I've been missing a lot of these events because I was in pharmacy school. But now that I've graduated, I imagine that things were going to get so much better. I make $120,000 at this point, later on $170,000 as a pharmacy manager. But it quite wasn't what I imagined or what I wanted. And the reason why is because I remember driving, and I know you're not supposed to do this, but um, I was looking at my schedule for work the very next month as September was ending, and I just kind of like let out a sigh, and I was like, this kind of sucks. And what sucked was I saw that again in September. I just finished like 27 to 28 out of 30 days of work, even though I was hired on as a part-time pharmacist. But October showed my schedule was completely full again. So I think I had like 3 days off total in October out of 31 days. And that sigh just like echoes in my mind every time I tell the story. And what I tell people whenever they ask me, oh, why did you give up such a great career? But it was that moment where I realized I couldn't do this for much longer. And the dream that I imagined at age 18, becoming a pharmacist, making six figures at a great job or so, or what people call it, wasn't what I wanted and wasn't the dream for me. There are other things I wanted to do in life, like become a dad, go on vacation more, have a hobby, do my hobbies, spend more time with friends and family, and go back to the days where I used to be able to see my family during vacations, spend the holidays with them, eat Thanksgiving dinner. But honestly, I think I ended up skipping a lot of those events this season, and it just gave me more clarity that I really need to move past this. I got to work that day and kind of just sat there and stared at the building before I actually got in. And that moment of silence actually gave me a better idea. It's like, hey, I know you're tired right now, Jeff, but there's going to be a better way. So after today's shift, we're going to go home and figure out a way to do this. And that's where I figured out my first step. So I drove home that day and I got into the computers, like ways to make money besides working your W-2 job. And that was kind of the moment I gave up on this idea of having these golden handcuffs and keeping $170,000 in income from my pharmacy job, or $120,000 at the time. And I didn't get started right away. It ended up being like a lesson. So the first like year, it was just me saving, eating a bunch of peanut butter jellies because I did learn very well how to save, especially watching people like Graham Stephan and Dave Ramsey. I learned how to save a lot of money. So I ended up eating like peanut butter jellies at the back of my my pharmacy shifts instead of like going out for dinner all the time. And my vacations that I had were actually paid vacations by my job, because whenever I would float somewhere, I would stay there, get a hotel, work a couple days, and afterwards I would like enjoy a meal on my company. Great company overall. It just wasn't for me. Maybe because of those reasons I mentioned earlier. So I learned a little bit about different investments like stocks, crypto, real estate, and then I tried all those actually, and I tried day trading, and I lost a lot of money, made a lot of money in some of them, but it ended up being just okay. What I ultimately landed on was going into real estate. And the reason why I got into real estate is because I got into this forum called Bigger Pockets, and I kept seeing all these like 25, 30-year-olds like saying, oh, we retired in real estate. And to me, I was like, man, they can't all be lying, right? And the process overall makes sense. Like, I live in a house right now, I rent it with three other people, and the landlord gets my money every single month. So if I could become that landlord, I could probably do the same and also provide great housing for people, because I loved my landlord at the time. Never really bothered me, gave me a great place to stay and a roof over my head. Something I could be proud of. So the first step was going through books like Short-Term Rental, Long-Term Wealth, the book on long-distance real estate investing, Buy, Rehab, Rent, Refinance, Repeat. At that time, I don't think short-term rental, long-term wealth was out yet. That came a little bit later because Airbnbs just started coming out. But those other two books, Long Distance Real Estate Investing, the Buy, Rehab, Rent, Refinance book, and the book on Low to No Money Down Investing by Brandon Turner, were my Bibles, plus the podcast. Eventually, I found my parents, who actually retired through real estate, even though we never really talked about it as a family. But I knew that they were doing this because they had invested in real estate prior to actually us even graduating in pharmacy school. And my brother acted as their property manager at the time. So I was like, oh man, if I can go and be a property manager for my own properties, which I didn't end up doing. I was a horrible property manager for the 6 months I tried it. But when I handed it off to an actual property manager, things worked splendidly. So hopping forward to getting to the story about property manager, I moved to South Carolina at the age of 27 and became a pharmacy manager. That's where my income actually jumped from $120,000 to $170,000. I still kept the same habits of like saving a lot of money for these investments. So I ate a lot, again, peanut butter jellies in a break room, did not travel a lot, spent my time rock climbing, doing really affordable events, going to the gym. And I ended up saving, I think, about like $50,000 to $70,000. And living with my parents actually gave me more motivation and courage to like actually see real estate investors in action. Like, here they are at home relaxing and still collecting a bunch of money for rent, like more than I would ever make as a pharmacist. So I bought my very first two homes like with their advice, and honestly I didn't know the difference between like interest rates, down payments, private mortgage insurance, and there was just so much I didn't know and didn't calculate for. But they gave me the courage to say, you know what, Jeff, just do it. It's gonna be good. You're buying these two brand new homes for $135,000 a piece, and we've done this so many times, we know it's gonna work out. Their philosophy is a little bit different regarding like loans and stuff than mine, but the concept overall was the same. Let's own a home, rent it out, use the money to live on, and also improve the property. It worked out, guys. So long story short, I ended up making about $100 to $600. I forgot what it was exactly, but honestly, I didn't take into account for like repairs and stuff. But it worked splendidly. And those two first homes weren't like home runs or anything like that, but they got me the experience and the skills I needed to feel confident to do my next few deals. And I ran out of money after those first two deals, so I ended up learning how to use like my 401k loan, learning how to borrow against my other properties, and honestly just saving a lot of money from my job again to go buy some fix and flips, which is what I did exactly. Those skills got me even more advanced in real estate. I started attending conferences and seminars, and things started looking up. Cash flow was still always an issue, but I started seeing a path outside of pharmacy that could be viable, because I ended up making like six figures from a couple of fix and flips, which I did not end up selling, but that's a story for another day. But even though I started making good money, I was still terrified to leave my job that started everything. And part of the reason why is because I spent 8 years in school, a little less than $200,000, a bunch of time. And honestly, my community was in pharmacy. A lot of my friends are there, and it would feel so weird to step away from that. Like it was something I was very proud of. But then I kept on living life, and I realized if I were to keep on going, I'd be quite unhappy. I'd be untrue to myself, and I'd become a bitter person who was only going to work out of fear that my friends would judge me, fear that maybe my business might not work out, my plan was stupid, fear that I might fail and be really embarrassed, fear that my parents would disown me, fear that my people would see me differently. But honestly, it was like looking back, even though I had all those fears, it could have been the best decision I ever made, because like fast forward, I just had this wonderful trip with my fiance to Japan. And compared to the trips I've taken in the past, like to Europe, where every single thing that I bought was just like so stressful, I couldn't really enjoy a lot of the things I was doing, because I was just like, man, after I buy this ticket to the museum, after I buy this food that's really expensive in Switzerland, I'm gonna have to go back to the life that I had, knowing that I gotta do this for 15 more years, 30 more years, 45 more years. But instead, the path of like becoming a real estate investor, making money while I sleep, even though it took a little bit of time to set up, like it still takes me management to look at my properties like about an hour or two every single week to make sure everything is smooth throughout my portfolio. It was way better than the alternative, which was again working 60 to 80 hour weeks as a pharmacist who was very highly respected. This trip to Japan, I think I spent like $10,000, and I would be getting these notifications throughout the day from my phone saying, "Oh, someone just booked your home. So and so just booked your home," and it gave me the comfort and the confidence, honestly, just to be like, "Hey, I'm more capable than just actually trading my time for money, but I'm actually capable of building a business, something that'll give me recurring income, whether I'm there or whether I'm not." And what I want to like share with everyone, like if you're sitting in your car driving to work and you find yourself staring maybe outside the window, wondering if there's like a better way, or near the end of your shift, watching the clock, waiting for the time for you to click clock out, I get it. It sucks. It's painful. It seems too hard. But what I want to share is you don't need millions to like start the path to freedom. You don't need every single resource in the world. You don't need to know everything. The three things I would probably get you started with is find someone who's doing this. Find someone trusted, first of all. And the more you know, like if the more you look around in your phones, there's a good chance you'll finally find that someone who could be a friend or a mentor to you. So be like, hey, this is what worked for me. This is what I think will work for you. Educate yourself. Books are so cheap, 10 to 15 bucks per piece. And it's literally someone's life story, giving you everything that they know packed into 100 pages. And the last thing is have the courage. Don't be so scared of losing that you never step up to the plate. Don't be so scared to learn how to drive, you never go out and see the world. I hope this helps. Subscribe if you like watching a dude in the car speaking on the phone.